Well, buddy, it's December 1st, and you know what that means.
What does it mean?
It means it's Christmas time. And nobody is being as obnoxious about it, in a good way, as Stevie Wicks Cool Beans Candle Company. This right here is one of, hang on, let me count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 holiday candles that they're whipping out for the month of December. You remember those kick-ass Halloween ones?
Mm-hmm.
Smell that? Well, you don't need to get it right up there.
I do. My nose is stuffed. That smells good.
It smells
Gosh,
like
that's strong.
I know. It smelled like a Christmas tree.
No, I smelled it. I just thought it was something else at first, and then it came back to me.
And you can get yours at steviewicks.com. More on them later. But they are the sponsor of this terrible, horrible podcast that's not entertaining at all. And we've got the hate mail to prove it. Because the internet is full of very intelligent people. Who,
Like me.
who, spend their time extremely wisely.
Now, listen. I just want to put it out there. When you put a negative comment out there, it only helps.
And you're going to get the smoke, though.
Yeah, sometimes I'm very good at responding. Sometimes not so much. I
would respond more, but I don't think everyone would click who I am. So...
Yeah, RIT Media, if you ever see it in the comments, that's him. This is our channel together, but that's his channel.
Because we have like a little network thing.
I mean, technically it's my channel, but...
Yeah, but our podcast is on
this channel.
And actually, that's another announcement, because for all two of you that watch the other podcast, if you haven't seen it already, Down the Middle is now, or I should say, is going to be its own YouTube channel. It's moving off of the RIT Media channel and becoming its own channel. It's still there, but it just became very clear to me that it was getting confusing for people, because some people would come for the wrestling, and then I'd upload another video with like a Jordan Peterson quote, and they'd be like, what?
Yeah, that's the thing we're having trouble with this channel, is niche. But the thing is, this channel is just all things discussion or just anything we decide to record or film or anything like that. So it's not just...
The recurring theme is us, though, because we're the hosts of it.
Yes.
Whereas with RIT Media, the original thought process was RIT has more subscribers, but there were some people that started subscribing only for the wrestling content. So in an effort to make that a little bit more digestible, and I think it was affecting the viewability, or the searchability, rather. This thing came off somewhere. I found it. You lost your little...
He done lost it.
Done lost it, Peter.
Oh, Peter, that's nasty.
Anyway. So, want to get into some hateful comments? There is actually one specifically I want to respond to, and this one's from a while ago. I am also planning on writing a full rebuttal in the RIT Media blog about this one, but I thought I would address some... Well, because he says a lot, and an appropriate response, not a crappy one, mind you, but an appropriate response requires a little bit of nuance, but I figured I'd address some surface level parts of it tonight. I believe it was... Oh, sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to...
Oh,
giggles
and shits. I have nothing for that. And no, I didn't eat a gummy tonight, so...
Well, it's because we're both manspreading.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was always the best thing, too, is like when you're with your lady, and she's like, why do you have to say it so wide? And it's like, I mean...
Because I got a dick. I mean...
It doesn't matter how big it is. It's the motion in the ocean. Anyway, go ahead.
So I guess before we get into some specific comments, listen, I'm not opposed to being criticized at all. In fact, I welcome it. But if you're going to criticize,
have some
at least make it make sense, because most of the negative comments we get are from people who obviously weren't paying attention, which is really sad because these are under a minute shorts.
And it's like they respond straight to the title and don't watch the video. Like, that's a lot of people do that on Facebook, and That's
Yeah,
where you
but it
ended up
plays
with
the-
people trying to take away people's freedoms of posting whatever they want, and they try to call it misinformation. So
But I mean, it plays the video for you. You don't even have to click a button.
I don't understand how hard it is to retain 30 seconds of knowledge, but I'm not gonna say it's knowledge. Nothing I say is knowledge, except the word knowledge.
So the first thing I'd like to point out is our latest short dealing with Wakanda Forever.
Terrible movie.
Well, but it seems to me, and I'm going to do a little experiment going forward because we have more
It
Black
wasn't that
Panther.
bad. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it was, but that's not my point. Let's see. Out of our last 6 shorts, only one of them got less than 1,000 views. Most of them went above 5,000.
Yeah, and it's really strange and bizarre because like they will blast off like,
Yeah,
and
but
all of a sudden they'll just stop.
But the Black Panther one is sitting at 8. And I
Black
think
Panther is not popular.
no, I think that
Actually, it is.
I think YouTube is purposefully curating any content that is critical of
I
Black
read
Panther.
on how shorts work, and this, if this is true, it would explain why we have such significant view counts. It basically, I need to word this correctly. The algorithm pushes your video, and then when the algorithm stops pushing it, it sees how well your video does with organic views.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the point of the algorithm, YouTube. You push videos that seemingly are popular. And if people are engaging, which they do, they engage quite a bit of the time. And, and I try to respond to all comments, hateful or fun comments,
Otherwise.
but it makes zero sense on you. And YouTube Shorts seem to be, if you're not doing YouTube Shorts on
You should
YouTube,
be.
you're getting left behind.
Yeah, you
YouTube
need
Shorts really are the bread and butter. And I found out how to get monetized technically with YouTube Shorts, you have to have 1 million views of YouTube Shorts and 1,000 subscribers. So I was like, okay, so that's not too bad because you get 1,000 views and then 4,000 watch hours. You can be monetized on that, and then you can do YouTube Shorts. And in order to get monetized on those, 1 million views. You have to have some bangers, I was for sure a few of our DBZ. The one
32.
I figured we were gonna get. It was just gonna keep growing, and it got up to 30,000 views and just died.
It gets
It gets some still.
every now and again, yeah, but I think it's sitting at.
I think our biggest problem is, I mean, apparently this turned into a what we need to do, but
Yeah.
our biggest issue is relevancy. We choose things that only have a time. Yeah, a time frame of popularity.
Some of it's timeless, but most of it is fairly topical, which is kind of what this channel's all about, though, because it started.
We want to talk about.
Yeah, it
modern
started.
topics.
If I were to call this podcast any sort of theme, it would be current events.
Right.
Not necessarily political, although that's how it started.
Like, I'm very good at smoking meats, and he's very good at World War II knowledge.
Yeah.
I saw a meme or something today with that.
That was Ron Swanson, wasn't it?
Maybe.
That sounds like a Ron Swanson.
I smoked some ribs earlier, and they weren't very good. Bad meat, bad cut of meat.
Speaking of World War II, though, rewatched All Quiet on the Western Front at home on Netflix on my giant-ass TV that's too big for my living room, but I don't care.
Perfect.
Holds up.
Does it?
Yeah, still very good. Part of my disappointment, which I shouldn't even say disappointment, part of what I didn't like was the fact that the theater I saw it in, the screen was criminally small for a movie like that.
Isn't that wrong?
What do you mean?
How like great movies that like only a couple people see like are on the tiny ass little screens and they're just seemingly insignificant and
Yeah.
it's a great movie.
Yeah, I still maintain 1917. I'll put it in this.
I keep forgetting I want to watch that.
It's
I
so
heard it's a
good. But
great
if they
movie.
ever, anytime they bring that back to theaters, I'll go watch it because That's a movie that, don't get me wrong, it's a great
Dolby
movie.
Digital, baby.
I think that was that the first or second movie? It was either the first or second movie I'd seen on a Dolby screen, and holy shit. But yeah, it was very good. But anyway,
he was explaining the bullets whizzing past his head because
there's a scene in the movie where he's running past some German soldiers, and at one point he ends up getting shot at from behind, and the first bullet, because you're in Dolby, the sound moves so it sounds like it's coming from behind you. You're like, shit. It's just like a natural reaction.
I heard that when Old Boy's running, and when he runs into that person, that was not supposed to happen. It was
That's correct.
It wasn't ad-libbed. It was an accident, but he kept going. And I was like, wow.
That's why you notice the camera ever so slightly starts to slow down, because at first...
they didn't have a choice.
Well, no, because what happened was, this is my understanding, at first they were just going to... The whole film, essentially, for everyone who doesn't know... the movie is supposed to look like it's one continuous shot. And they do it extremely well. But part of the problem with that is if something goes wrong in a take, they have to start over again. So there is a lot of improvisation in that movie. So at one point towards the end of the movie, he's running across the front line as British soldiers are going over the top. So he runs into one guy and they both fall down. So the camera... is still moving, but then as he starts to get up, the camera slows down just a little bit to let him get caught up. And at one point, he's like really hauling ass to try to get closer to the camera. It's quite funny, but it's a very good scene. So let's start with the most recent short with hateful comments, the Riley Reid story.
And it's like, when we say hilarious story, it's hilarious to us.
You know
we
what?
Don't really care if
you know
like
what?
It or not.
I will own up to this one. This one. Well, no, not really, because.
No, it's funny because the thing is, you're sitting there looking at a movie, and it's about who we were talking about at the time, so the story was relevant.
But here's what I don't get though, and that's the other thing. So a lot of these shorts get hate and it's an unfortunate byproduct of it being 60 seconds or less. You don't have the context of what was said before, because the whole reason that story was brought up was because he said that Riley Reid and Tulsi Gabbard have the same teeth.
I forgot about that.
And then that reminded me, but then that reminded me of this thing that actually happened, and to me it was hilarious. But to be fair, I have a weird sense of humor. Like, I find certain things hilarious that other people are like, that's not funny at all. So I'll admit to that. But Mason Ladd, thumbs down, not hilarious. Wasted my time. Bro, this clip is literally like, I think it's 42 seconds. I think you'll be fine.
We're sorry to have ruined your entire life.
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, some people, 42 seconds is a very long time. Not going to say why, just going to let that. And then, and if I mispronounce your name, I apologize, but I believe this is Dion Eberts. No offense, but that was not a hilarious story. You know what, Dion? I'll take the criticism because you said it respectfully, my friend. You didn't find it funny? Can't win them all. Oh, and then who's CivTech Strike 2? What does that mean? Anyway, and then Kiffins, your podcast sucks. Oh, thanks for watching. And John Doe, gross. Sir, I have a question for your comment. If it's so gross, how do you know it's gross unless you know who we're talking about?
No, I said he was a Jenna Jameson fan.
So here's another. It's a hilarious story that nobody's going to find funny. It's not really a story, though. There's so this is some wrestling trivia. One of the most, I'm not going to say it's creative, but it's pretty funny. So when Kurt Angle arrived in TNA in 2006, I believe, his TNA theme has a line in it, or some lyrics, and the lyrics go like this. Took more men than Jenna Jameson in better days.
Oh.
If you think you stand a chance, you win a Jenna Hayes.
Wow.
I know, right?
Put two of them in there.
I literally, the first time I heard that song, I'm like, that's hilarious.
That is funny.
But of course, we're going to get comments on that short, and people are going, "It's not funny. It's not funny." So that was it for the Riley Reid one. We didn't get any real negative comments from Greta Thunberg, but I did, or the Greta Thunberg short.
Yeah, she never said anything.
Which I'm proud of that one, you know. Greta Thunberg changed her tune on the Bergs.
The way you said tune was funny in itself. She
That was
changed her tune.
That was a happy accident because that joke came to mind as I was saying. But I did want to point out to Frosty, I hope.
Frosty the snowman.
Frosty der Schneemann.
You'd put that back in there.
Yeah.
His carrot goes on his face, not there.
But anyway, honestly, the fact that she came out and said she believes differently reeks of maturity. It takes real growth for a person to take a step back and correct themselves. She was very young. She was propped up in front of the camera as a child. I can't imagine what that was like, but that much stress as a child can affect them in some way.
Absolutely.
100% agree with you, Frosty. And in fact, after reading your comment, I did feel not super bad, but I did feel a little bad because we were having a little bit of fun at Greta's expense. But
at the same time, she was thrown into the limelight in public. It kind of happens.
And it's less, and I know it won't come off this way, it is less criticizing Greta as a person and more so the people that propped her up, because I 100% agree. I think they exploited a child.
Yeah.
Who didn't know any better, and not only didn't know any better, but was reinforced that she was in fact doing the right thing. And yeah, we had fun with the whole, like, oh, she got her heat bill and said, how dare you? But, I mean, come on, that's funny. I think, in fact,
dare you?
I think Greta would laugh at it.
You know, honestly, probably not.
Well, no, nowadays, I think, because honestly, I've heard her speak since, you know, after she became an adult, and she seems a lot more reasonable.
I'm not trying to say, like, anything bad against her, but she has Asperger's, correct?
I've heard that. I don't know if that's true.
Asperger's or something like that. And you know how it is, you know, people with Asperger's and autism in general, they sense of humor is different, you know, like not always.
True.
Not always. You know, I'm just saying some of them. Like Elon Musk. Like the guy is funny, but the thing is his sense of humor, like I haven't really seen him belly laugh from a joke. Like I'm pretty sure they're out there, but I've never seen him truly belly laugh.
That's true. He is more of a chuckler, if anything. Usually it's more of like a grin that he does. You got a point. He's not really a laugher per se.
Well, and that's you know, that's not abnormal with that type of what would you call that? Illness.
Alrighty, so next I figured this one would get some hate. The real abortion question short.
Oh yeah.
Whew. Okay, so this is the one where I think a lot of people weren't really listening.
No, they weren't, and like they weren't even like we didn't even say really like anything for or against, did we?
Okay, so
we were just basically saying it's back to the state's control.
Well, the point I was making, which I make anytime abortion comes up, is the fact that I think we're asking the wrong questions. So everybody wants to turn it into a moral issue, and I'm not saying that it's not, because it very much is. The problem is outside of a person's perspective, a person's individual perspective, there's not a clear moral answer. Like to you, there might be a very clear moral answer, but to the person right next to you, it might not be so clear, because there's two questions when it comes to abortion, and they're very different. The first one, which most people concern themselves with, is abortion morally right or wrong? Unfortunately, because we don't have a clear empirical answer, that answer will vary depending on who you're talking to for various reasons. What I'm saying is that when it comes to the political side of it, the question isn't whether it's morally right or wrong, because there are lots of things that are legal that are morally wrong, i.e. cheating on your spouse.
Euthanasia of animals.
Oh, of animals. I was going to say euthanasia is illegal, but...
No, I wrote a story on euthanasia.
This is a hilarious story.
Yeah. So I believe it was 4th or 5th grade. No, I think it was 5th or 6th grade. 5th or 6th grade, my teacher literally didn't spell it out for me. I'm in 6th grade, and I live in the middle of a Midwest country. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, I live in the Midwest of the United States, so therefore we know nothing about history yet. That I'm told to write on the topic of euthanasia. I literally did like a 4-page project and had a speech and everything for youth in Asia.
As in the youngins.
And when I went to present it, they was like, we meant euthanasia. And I'm like, what the fuck's that mean?
Yeah.
And my teacher just would not stop laughing.
I mean, to be honest, like it was funny in a way that wasn't at your expense. It was just kind of like, well, yeah, nobody explained it to a 5th grader.
Like, looking back, that's fucking hilarious.
That's so funny.
Anyway, but
so
no.
he wrote a paper about how Chinese kids have it rough.
But no, that's what I was going to actually ask you is how do you feel on euthanasia for animals? Like,
I don't.
Even if they're old and getting ready to die.
To me, it depends because I think the problem with euthanasia for animals is that you can't actually get consent.
That's my problem.
There are, however, some cases where it's pretty obvious. For example, if you hit a deer on the side of the road and it's done.
It's dying. I get that.
Yeah, that's
like it's an agony and you caused it instead of letting nature take its course. I mean, technically though, like. Have you ever seen Nature is Metal on Instagram?
Well, I was just going to...
There are literally deers that have been gutted by bears, and their shit is just hanging.
And they're going to die.
But they're still running around with their guts hanging out.
Yeah, but, I mean, we're talking minutes. Like.
Oh, yeah, but no, that's my point, though, is, that's why I asked you whether or not you believe that is... And you said the consent thing, and that makes a whole lot of sense when it comes to the abortion topic. See, the thing is, we don't necessarily agree on abortion, but we don't act like idiots. We just go about our day, and he believes what he believes, and I believe what I believe.
Well, and when it comes to abortion, I guess we'll talk about it because I'm not shy about it. It's just I try not to bring it up because everybody gets so angry. But when it comes to abortion, I kind of whenever I'm having a discussion about it, I lead with two things. One, I'm a man, and I will never know what it's like to be pregnant.
Same.
So that does alter my perspective.
And I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to have an opinion on it if I hear it from you. That's the thing. Just shut up about it. Well, go to your doctor and shut up about it. You don't need to post on, I got my abortion now so I can go out and have fun on Friday.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, not everybody's like that. That's an extreme. Anyway.
No. And then the other thing that I always point out is the fact that I don't know because for me, the paramount question is a fetus at any point, and I have an answer that I believe, but the question is a fetus at any point considered a life, a human life, and if so, at what point does that occur? It might be at conception, it might be at birth, probably somewhere in between, but we don't know that answer concretely because if we did, the answer would be a lot easier to find.
And I'm not religious by any means.
No, and my perspective does not come from but I actually think that religious people have a much easier time wrestling with this question because for the most part, their religious beliefs tell them.
I used to have a similar agreement with you on that until I had children. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, not everybody, a lot of people change their tune, Berg, when they have children.
And that makes sense.
And it makes sense because the thing is, you hold life more precious when you have children. I'm talking
Yeah. Well, I assume your perspectives change on a great many things.
And then some women, I don't see they call it. We're getting off crazy topic, but this is what this channel is about.
It's all the whole point of this channel is it's supposed to be a massive conversation. We want you people to engage in it. I'm waiting for Sosa's words of wisdom.
I don't agree.
I will say, after having a longer conversation, Sosa is a very, very smart guy.
He knows a lot.
And his brain goes super fast.
I know, dude. I felt so bad because on our podcast last time, I took a gummy prematurely, and I could not speak. I couldn't speak, and I felt like an idiot. And Sosa literally said later on, he goes, I was going to ask if you were going to say anything. And I was like, dude, I tried. And when I did start talking, I sounded like an utter idiot. So I was like, I'm just going to be quiet.
I notice our audio keeps peaking. I'm not sure.
Well, it's probably because we're getting loud. Stay away from the mic.
Yeah, just get away from me. But where was I going?
Anyone listening to that, like, what the fuck did he just do?
All right, so I lost all the comments, so we're not going to address all these, but we're going to do a few of them. Okay, Outer Banks. You started to make a point that would have been universal. I'm not saying you're making a bad point. I'm just saying because they said at least one person dies in every abortion. The question is, do the choice people have the courage to call it what it is? Oh, no, this isn't the guy. I'm sorry. Somebody brought up God at the very end of theirs, and they were making a point. But, I mean, Outer Banks, you're kind of hitting the nail on the head to a certain of what I was saying, though. It's like, from your perspective, absolutely. I can see how you came to that conclusion. I didn't mean to read that comment, but might as well address it.
Because regardless if the life is viable or not, you know, there are plenty of people that, I mean, this guy had open heart surgery at what?
It wasn't open heart.
I thought you had open heart. What was it?
They went up through my balls. Not literally, but in the groinal region.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, regardless, this dude had to have a freaking valve shut on his heart because he had an extra one, right?
It was pumping double time.
Yeah, so he couldn't run or he'd be like, and then he got it, and then he became, run, Forrest! Run!
Kinda.
But,
I still hate to run.
You know, so it's like people, you know, just because, I don't know. I forgot where I was going with that.
No problem. But Michelle is the comment I was looking for. What?
Michelle.
It might be Michael, but I'm going with Michelle.
You're an asshole.
Asshole. It's wow. That's vague now. That's Hancock reference, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Asshole.
Asshole.
So Michelle, because it's Michel. What? Abortion is right or he spelled right wrong. I'm guessing English is not your first language, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. But
that would make sense.
Abortion is right or wrong based on each person's conscience, ? There are no individual morality or individual beliefs or individual truth. There can be only one truth. Yes, it is God's truth. See, my friend, you almost... And then you switched it at the very end to an argument from authority.
Yeah, if you would have left the God comment out, it would have been a decent argument.
Well, and the only problem is there absolutely is such a thing as individual morality, but I think what you're getting at is that there is defined right and wrong. There's an argument for that, but I think I get what you're saying. Individual beliefs are absolutely a thing, my friend. Because, for example, I believe that... Let me think of a good one here. Something I did. Okay, so this is perfect. So I believe that marijuana is not a good thing to partake in. But I only believe that. I mean, I believe that in general, but...
Careful there, Crowder.
No. Hear me out. But...
I'm going to get Joe Rogan and sick him on you.
But that only applies to me.
Exactly. And you don't hate on anyone who does it.
No, because people have individual beliefs and practices. I think it would be morally wrong, but that's just for me. So...
He's straight edge.
I don't like to label myself a straight edge because I will take prescription drugs if a doctor prescribes them.
Well, that's different, though. Like,
well,
you're not taking them for fun.
There are some straight edge people that are like, no, man, no drugs. And I'm like, well,
No.
you've clearly never had surgery.
Oh, yeah.
So... I try not to, man, but I needed to take my pain after my hernia surgery. I had to take the pain pills just to be able to sleep, because if I didn't, it was just constant pain.
Shit, a appendectomy, or how do you say
Appendectomy.
that? Appendectomy, appendectomy. After I had that thing, dude, that was horrible. Like, it wasn't as bad as some of the things that other people have gone through, but you know, I remember trying to get up, and they gave me a pillow from the hospital. To put on my belly just to get up. They's like, you need to push in when you get up. I'm like, okay.
Now, here is one as Crazy Rich Engineer who added, the real question is, what is the consequence of either choice and which society do we want? See, that's kind of what I was getting at, but you actually said it better than I did.
That's actually a very, very good statement. Like,
yeah,
which society do we want?
At the end of the day, until we can definitively answer that question, You just have to ask yourself. But again, it comes down to the individual asking themselves this question: is what society do you want? And different people will have different answers, because the biggest problem is that we're also, both sides of the argument are not even asking the same, or not at. I'll spit it out eventually. The people on either side of the argument are actually fighting for different things. See, the pro-choice crowd is arguing for bodily autonomy, which I am a fan of. The pro-life side is arguing for the bodily autonomy of the baby or fetus, or however you want to address
Basically,
it.
each side is going for
Each side's arguing the same thing, just for a different person.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you get down to it, it's pro-choice, but technically they're both pro-life.
Technically, yes. It's who's...
Because, at the end of the day, when you have a child, your life becomes about them. So therefore, you lose all sense of...
At least it should.
Well, yeah.
Doesn't always happen, but...
You're not... Yeah, I know.
You're not numero uno anymore.
Yeah, so therefore you have to care for someone else, and you have to think about what your decisions are going to affect them. And a lot of people are not willing to do that, in which that's fine. But there's plenty of ways to get around it. And I'm not talking abortion. I'm talking, contraception and whatnot. And if accidents happen, accidents happen. Do your thing.
Now, Scorpio BW 1985.
Just don't talk about it.
I think she's talking about us, but I don't know. I wish they would start making abortions mandatory for some of these morons. Were you talking about us or the people in the comments?
If you were talking about us, that's a good burn.
This solid burn.
That was a solid burn.
I'm going to give that one to you.
If you were not talking about it, did I respond?
You just hearted it.
Oh, okay. Well, because the thing is, it's like if you're going to be vague.
I don't think she was intentionally vague, though.
I don't think I'm going to assume that she was pro-life and that's what she meant, because I've even said that before. I'm like, if these crazy leftists and whatnot, and I don't mean like, just like someone who's like sound mind and, something happens and they need to get an abortion. I'm talking like the crazy ones. Like, I can't remember who it was, some famous girl, famous actor, she's had like 4 or 5. And I'm like, I would think after 1, you don't need to be doing that anymore. It's like, do you not know what a condom is or anything else? Like,
oh, and then
it's not birth control. Let's just go with that.
Okay, and then Jason Moore, I have a... Oh, someone came to my defense. I'll get to you in a second, buddy. Thank you.
He's so happy.
Jason, well, I didn't see it before. Everyone has to answer what morality is for themselves, says a person who knows nothing about philosophy or morality whatsoever.
Yeah.
Making a lot of assumptions here, my guy. Because actually, I've studied philosophy to a great extent, including rational thought, ethics, and empiricism.
Yes, and I've seen Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Technically, it was a Sorcerer's Stone in the United States.
It's the Philosopher's Stone. Nicholas Flamel.
Oh, no, that's what it is in England, yeah?
Yeah, and that's what it is in the Dante books. Was it in the Dante books?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't mean Dante books. I'm sorry, Dante's books.
I know you're talking about the Divine Comedy, but
I can't. Where else?
I don't remember if they. I don't think they brought up the Philosopher's
Have you seen
Stone.
As Above, So Below?
No, but I've heard of it.
It's a fucking great movie, but
I need to watch it.
It's creepy. But
I believe it.
the Philosopher's Stone is in that. I'm not going to give you any more because you do need to watch it.
And in fact, I will say virtually everything I learned about philosophy was from one of the most brilliant minds I've ever come across, Professor Barton Updike. Thank you, sir. You stroked my love of philosophy from the first time I took one of your classes. You are making...
College?
Yeah.
Okay.
You being Jason, are making a very, very poorly thought out generalization about someone you don't know, which people in comments do a lot. Because my favorite one, though, was when they said that we'll get to it later, but the one who was like, says the guy in his mom's garage. I'm like, if you only knew, dumbass. He paid out the ass for this garage. Thank you very much. I always love that, though, because people just assume. And I don't know. And the whole point of ethics as a field of study is to determine morality, which means that to a certain extent it is subjective. Like, for example, I have friends that are Catholic, and to them it is not morally right to eat meat, although fish doesn't count apparently, to not eat meat on Fridays.
I don't understand why fish doesn't count.
Because they needed an out.
They're like, we need food.
Actually, I remember reading, and I can't remember all of it, so I'm going to be purposefully vague. I want to say that part of the reason was...
Is this who I think you're talking about?
No.
Okay.
I can't even remember, so I'm not going to go into it. But, yeah, to my staunch Catholic friend, eating meat on a Friday is not morally acceptable. I will eat the shit out of some cheeseburgers on a Friday, though, because I do not share his moral belief in Catholic doctrine. Does that make me a bad person? No, because I'm not a Catholic. If Ben Shapiro will not eat a non-kosher steak, because
he will not even go to a restaurant that is non-kosher.
But that makes sense for him because his subjective morality is dictated by his Jewish faith, of which he ascribes to. That, my friend, is subjective morality.
And he's very strong, in his faith.
And you know what? I respect the hell out of that because I don't want to do it.
I wish I could. I wish I could be comfortable and thinking that everything's going to be fine.
The man doesn't leave his house without wearing a yarmulke. Like, it's just something he
doesn't
do.
Like, I don't know why it irritates me because nothing anyone does personally should irritate me. But that's like one of those things. I was like, how do you wear that on your head? That would drive me nuts. And then I go into how I would hate to wear it. And then that's how a lot of people act, But instead of me going up to him and saying, you know what, you're an idiot for wearing that because I don't want to wear it. And he would be like, well, you're not wearing it. And then he would make me look like a fool. So. Yeah.
That will actually lead me into more about our sponsor because not only does Stevie Wicks have, notice I said holiday candles at the beginning, because not only do we have not only do they have Christmas candles coming out, for our friends in the Jewish community, they have Hanukkah candles as well.
Hanukkah.
And I was actually told that a rabbi was consulted, because apparently there aren't any special things that need to be done for candles, but they checked, damn it. A rabbi was consulted. So those are also available. So celebrate your Hanukkah season with the new jelly donut scent, which I am told is a major staple of Hanukkah.
And I do not soy, so you can eat it on Friday. That was bad. That's a terrible joke.
That's awesome. Because I don't know, I'm not Jewish. Apparently, jelly donuts are a big thing around Hanukkah time.
Louis, I would eat more jelly donuts.
That's what I was told. But get yours, StevieWicks.com for a limited time only. But anyway, this guy, Crouton, came to my defense. What? How?
Crouton? How did he come to your defense?
His response to Jason's comment was, what? How?
Oh, what did Jason say?
The one about a person who knows nothing about philosophy or morality whatsoever. So, Jason... Andrew Tate would say, what color's your Bugatti? And I will ask, where's your degree from? Legit question. You'll never see this, but...
Yeah, it's whatever.
I'm putting it out there just in case you do. And then just going to answer Paul. By the way, why does your site say 4 comments and none are posted? Are you hiding opinions? No. In fact, I've noticed this happens with shorts a lot, especially at the very beginning. The trick is if you go up to the top right of the comments section, there's like the little meter icon. If you tap that, it by default has top comments selected, but if you switch it to newest comments, it will load all of them. I don't know why it does that.
Which it doesn't make any sense because even if it was with top comments, it should still load them all, but it does not.
Correct. But it does.
YouTube, you need to fix that because, and on top of that, when people reply to comments on YouTube, this happens on Facebook too. You ever notice how on Facebook it's relevant, but on this it's top comments versus what?
Newest
comments, and it's like comments just disappear. And they're not gone. They're still there, but you have to select something. And it's like, dude, If I want to read comments and I click comments, take me to the comments.
We pride ourselves on the fact that we don't disable comments ever.
No, heck no.
We're not hiding it. It's just a weird YouTube quirk. So if you're ever not seeing comments, change it to newest and they'll load.
If I ever do a video with my kids, comments are gonna get disabled.
Well, yeah, but you're talking that's different.
If I ever did.
Let's see.
My son wants to do Spirit Halloween stuff.
And Elise Marie R. The question is, should government regulate it? That's what I fucking said.
Once again,
literally in the video.
40 seconds of a video.
And then Paul Fenter, which we responded to this, morality or not, don't use our tax dollars to support it. Agreed, but we weren't talking about funding. And so I got you.
In which I commented back with that. Actually, you did too as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not talking about funding. Because honestly, like I said, abortion is technically a elective surgery. Well, is it considered a surgery?
It depends, because sometimes it would be considered medically necessary.
Yeah, if it's medically necessary, yes.
And I will say,
life or the baby.
And I will say, I do believe that is up to a doctor to decide. Which is why I do have, even if I were to be pro-life, I would still have a problem with a lot of the abortion laws that are getting, not necessarily passed, but getting penned, because when you're talking about medically necessary,
it's a blanket term.
That really needs to be a doctor's call.
But the thing is, though, there needs to be like there are only so many things for a reason to occur, for that to occur. Goddamn, I can't talk. So therefore, like, what would the doctor's thing be? God, I cannot fucking communicate.
So this one, Carlos Abram, I want to kind of go into this because you did respond to him. Incorrect. State don't determine rights. Never have.
State don't.
Until Republicans wanted to go back 100 years. Punctuation, my friend.
Punctuation, and then on top of that, yes, it's called the United States for a reason.
You did say it's called the United States. All states have their own constitution. All states have laws only applicable in their state. Some share laws. Has been this way forever. And then I'm assuming Carlos is a guy. Sorry if I misgender you. I don't give a shit. Except that's not the way the law or Constitution works. The Civil War should have taught you that. First of all, what does the Civil War have to do with the Constitution? Secondly, I guess other than like a few of the amendments that have nothing to do with
abortion.
Yeah. I mean, you're knocking on the right door, but the whole point is that the Constitution doesn't. I get what he's saying. He's saying that and he's right. Rights are inalienable. The problem is the Constitution identifies what the inalienable rights are. They're not saying they're government granted, but they are identifying them.
Well,
and abortion is not part of that document yet.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah. So actually, and actually, I was pretty staunchly pro-choice until I heard Ben Shapiro make that point that the Constitution protects the right to life, and I went, well, shit.
And that's how a lot of people act. If the Constitution says this, that's what they abide by.
But then you go back to the question of, well, when is it a life? And that's the question that has yet to be answered.
I mean, if it's growing and the cells are constantly dividing and whatever you want to call it, I can't remember what you call that, replicating.
Yeah.
If the cells are constantly replicating and it's constantly growing, I mean, is a tomato when it's a tiny little bud on the thing, or is it does it keep growing? What do you call that? When does it become a tomato on a vine?
Damn, bro, it just got deep.
But no, seriously, anything that grows, and we all fucking grow from DNA and whatnot.
So I'm not making a moral claim here. I'm just playing with thought experiments. So like you're making the point of tomato.
Hit me, bro.
Let's say that your entire livelihood is based upon your tomato crop, and a plague of locusts comes through and decimates all your tomatoes. Are they tomatoes to you?
They're my crop.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Your tomatoes are gone, even though they weren't tomatoes yet.
Yeah, that would be like the same thing as, like, say you have children and, an actual really dangerous virus that kills children comes through and wipes out all the kids.
Oh, but they're kids, though. They're kids at that point.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I mean, technically.
My point is, with the example I gave, whether or not when it becomes a tomato is irrelevant because the damage is done. Whether that happens when the tomatoes are still growing or the tomatoes are ripe, you've lost your entire crop.
Yeah, but
You're screwed.
the argument still stands: when does it become a tomato, or when does a life become a life? There's no definitive answer.
Not
I
yet,
mean, technically, I believe a tomato, is a tomato.
Well, here's the thing, though. It depends on how you phrased your answer, too, because if you're talking about at the level of, say, DNA, it's a tomato even when it's growing.
But the thing is, if let's say the DNA of a person that has currently been seeded, seeded. Oh my gosh, fertilized.
Seeded.
So let's just say an egg just been fertilized and it's starting to grow. If left unchecked and if left alone, what's it going to grow into?
Well, the only problem with that, and I bring this up.
No, I was just bringing it up because you said DNA, and I'm assuming,
well,
you said DNA could change into something else.
If left unchecked, it would grow into a person. Except the miscarriage problem. God's abortion, as I call it.
A miscarriage, really, all kinds of factors.
Yeah, I mean,
PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome. There are a lot of things. And the thing is that shit happens. Sometimes babies just die for no reason.
Yeah, it happens. And actually, it was one of them.
And sometimes abortions are necessary.
Well, and I had a person I knew on Facebook, and I'm not going to name them because this was some time ago, first of all, and I hope they're not watching. But I question why they did this. So, unfortunately...
this just became the abortion podcast, by the way.
I'm not trying to make it, but we were talking about the short, but like their baby was born stillborn.
Oh, man.
But they took pictures with it.
That's normal.
Is it? I didn't know if that was a thing.
It
like,
is, to me, it's kind of weird.
In a way, I can get it, though, but in another way, it's like, I don't know.
Do I know this person?
I believe so.
Are we all very good friends back in the day?
Back in the day, yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It wasn't stillborn, if it's the person I'm thinking of.
Oh, well, we might be talking, because the baby was definitely stillborn.
Mm-hmm.
What? No.
Okay, never mind. I don't know who you're talking about then.
No.
Sorry.
No, somebody different.
Well,
I remember that. Yeah, that.
Which
that's a whole different.
They knew.
They
knew what was going to happen.
Which that fucking sucked though.
Yeah, but
I mean, it sucked for
that's
both.
terrible though.
That's fucking awful.
I was so scared for that, but the thing is, like, my wife went to so many checkups, and and they checked the baby out, and this is a new one.
Oh no, this is the one I was thinking of.
All right, let's move on because I could sit here and talk about this all night.
Yeah. Oh, except I do have to.
I know I'm annoying about it. Sorry.
The last comment on this one, Rotten Soldier. It's not a hard question. Seriously, no state does not have the right to use my tax dollars to provide abortions for female promiscuity. Not sorry. Go to the damn liquor store and buy a box of condoms for $8, cheapskates. First of all, man, you're buying some really expensive fucking condoms.
Yeah, they're about $8.
What the fuck kind of
for a large box?
Yeah, but
like 8 or 12 of them.
Well, yeah, buy a 3-pack for like 4. Like, goddamn. If you're that cheap, seriously. But anyway, and why at the liquor store? Go to Walmart. Jesus.
I'm assuming because they're going to get their.
Spend a lot of time at the liquor store.
They're getting their E&J and getting their condoms.
There you go. Hard question, my ass, dummy. Don't be a pussy and be honest.
Who said that?
This was Rotten Soldier, and you did respond to him.
Oh.
That's when I said never said anything about using tax dollars. Yeah. So just clarifying there, my friend. Kamala didn't get much hate, although Kitty did thank us for running her down. Great job, y'all. Keep going. Your future is going to be great. Love Kitty. We love you, Kitty.
Yeah, and we appreciate you.
Have you subscribed yet?
I think she did.
I think she did, too.
You are the shit.
You are awesome, Kitty. And then HMS Demolition .hauling, sorry. She even put her mother in jail because her son is a gang member. Not her, but her son. Look it up. Pure evil.
I did look that up, and it's not
It was a truancy thing,
Yeah, it was a
right?
truancy thing.
But he was truant because he was...
I think I commented on that.
You did.
And I think I said that. You know, and I wasn't trying to correct her by saying, like, you're wrong. Because, I mean, technically she's right. The mother was arrested for the son. But it was for truancy. And he just so happened to be a gang member.
Yeah.
Which is still messed up. Like, I've never understood that, too, before. Because when I was in 3rd grade, before I came to our school that we went to together, 4th grade on to graduation, I had missed several days because I was skipping school, and I got caught, and they said a truancy officer could arrest my mom, and I never missed any more school from then because I was like, no, she makes me breakfast. I like breakfast.
So the Ron DeSantis video about him flipping Miami, there's a couple mostly positive on this one because boy, do you guys love DeSantis. And
They do.
Warren P. asked, didn't Trump flip a lot of black and Latino votes too, but all across the country? Yes, but
he did, but not enough. I was going to respond to this comment, and I was going to say he did, but not enough for the 2020 election.
Yeah, you're thinking mostly of 2016.
Yeah, 2016 he did flip
flipped
quite
a
a
lot.
bit.
But
then they went back to hating him.
But he didn't flip Miami like DeSantis did.
No.
Oh, God, here we go. DeSantis, or DeSatan, sorry, from Loretta. DeSatan only won because the Hitler dictator wannabe prevented those people from voting.
Let me see this. DeSatan.
That is good.
Listen, I hate names for political people.
That's good.
I can't stand names, but that is hilarious.
That's good. That's
not true.
But it's funny.
But it is funny.
That is. I will give you props for DeSatan.
I don't know why anybody would really hate too much on DeSantis. Like,
well, and then somebody below that said gerrymandering, and I'm like, okay, but then explain Miami.
That's why I was like, how?
Like, that's just empirically not the case. Like, and both parties redistrict all the time. So, like, yes, gerrymandering's a thing, but they all do it. And I don't think it's right, but
they all fucking do it.
They all do it.
You fucking wankers.
You fucking wankers. Trump needs to grab him up for 2024.
No.
Now, see, this is where... I don't know, do we disagree on that, or did I convert you?
No, I don't want... I changed my mind on the DeSantis run on 2024. Simply just because I think he would make a better 2028 candidate, and the reason being is because if I go to Florida within the next couple of years, I want it to still be nice.
Well, theoretically, his lieutenant governor would take over.
I know. I'm just being a hardhead. And honestly, I believe Trump got screwed out of the 2020 election. So I think you should give the guy another chance. We were doing well under 2016 to 2020.
Especially all things considered. I do think the pandemic
and even for the year of 2021 until somebody decided to start doing stupid things and killed my business and everything like that. So screw you, buddy.
Biden.
And the thing is, I can confidently say that. He's said it a couple times. He's like, oh. Anyway.
Okay, and then Sinjin 60 asked, why is Miami blue on the map? It is actually not, but I understand why you're asking. Because if you look at and I tried to find a better image, but that was the best one I could find that actually showed it red. If you look at that image, the little dot that marks Miami is actually in the red county below. It's barely there, but it's there. I didn't like how they marked that map.
Oh, are you talking about where they...
Yeah, the image I put in there. And then Kitty again. Yes.
Awesome. She's awesome.
Thank you for getting the message out there. Keep going. We're going to win. Love Kitty. And excellent use of punctuation, my friend.
And on top of that, I do believe DeSantis has a good chance of winning if he does run in 2024.
Oh, I agree.
But the only problem is that would be like, obviously somebody's got to get nominated.
Yeah, although I want to address one more. K. Locke, flipped Dade County, ? Was a landslide, ? Then obviously there must have been election fraud, right? No? Oh, right. Conservatives all have the minds of little children. What's your point? So you're saying there wasn't election fraud? and it was a landslide victory. Maybe not in Miami-Dade County, but he did flip it. Like, that's a fact. And he did win Florida in a landslide, almost 60%.
What year was this?
This election.
And what didn't they allow, Mr. Jacob?
What? Florida.
What didn't they allow?
What was it? Non-solicited
mail-in ballots.
Well, non-solicited. That's important.
They did not allow mail-in ballots. They allowed absentee,
which is
different because you have to send in your ID in order to get a thing back.
That's what I'm saying. You have to request it though.
Yes, it's okay. You're right. You're absolutely right.
You're right. That the technical term is absentee, but.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know the difference. Like they assume mail-in is the same as absentee, and it is not.
And I want to clarify one thing too. I'm not. Well, at least when I say, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for you, but
he's not conservative.
No, that's the other thing.
He's a conservatarian.
Yeah, but
he likes his money, but he's also liberal.
Socially, I really don't give a flying fuck what you do.
As long as it don't fucking bother me. I mean,
don't bother me. Don't bother me, and don't affect kids.
Doesn't affect me.
I'm good. Don't come from the children, and don't try to shove it onto me. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, just like Nancy Pelosi's husband with that guy that he was caught in there, with. Who cares what they were doing?
Go for it.
No one cares.
Hey man, however you want to use.
Your wife might care though.
However you want to use a hammer.
They were getting dirty.
Hammer time. But oh god.
Hammer time.
I completely lost my train of thought there. Oh, so, and I said this on one of the early podcasts. I'm not saying that mail-in ballots lead to voter fraud. All I said, and this is true, if you have an argument to the contrary, throw it at me. Mail-in ballots are ideal for the Democrats because it requires people to not have to get up and go somewhere, which, historically speaking, conservatives tend to be more proactive when it comes to going to the polls, except in elections like this one where there were two major, more liberal, contentious issues. And I still guarantee, and they were caught in several states. Well, I say caught like it was legal, but they go to an apartment building, and people who wouldn't have even thought about voting, they go and it's like, oh, well, here's a ballot right here. Just fill this out. It's not election fraud, but to me it's kind of eh.
It's more of a swayed, not swayed, but a swayed opinion. It's like, hey, vote for us, we'll give you chocolates. Or vote for us, we'll give you free college.
Well, and I'm wondering how much of it was, and I hate to phrase it this way, but how many people showed up, answered the door when they were high or half asleep or something. Here you go. I'll even fill it out for you. Just sign right there. It's a valid ballot. Has their signature on it.
And on top of that, I don't know if this is true or not, and I can't corroborate or however you say that. But I read those videos of people who had went to voting booths, and when they voted, for some reason, their vote didn't get taken down. And there's actually a lot of places that have been having this issue. And the funny thing is, they're Republicans, and they're literally, they go to check their voter, because you can check online who you voted for, I believe, and it said they hadn't voted. And they're like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
I went to the polls. And that's another thing is, if it's ran by someone who's got an agenda, and it's hard. Like, voting is so hard, but it's the easiest thing in the world, but it's so hard.
But now, before the lefties start attacking us, I too am in
favor. They ain't even watching.
I know, but just in case, I too am in favor of making Election Day a federal holiday. I believe.
Why is it not?
I don't know. To me, that makes all the sense in the world.
Because it is one of the most important days in our country.
I think it absolutely should be a federal holiday, and I think that...
I agree. Let's do it.
Well, no, I mean, I just...
I'm not going to work anymore on that day.
Well, I have a standing... I've always had a standing thing in my company that, I expect you to come to work, but if you're late because you were voting, I'm not going to hold it against you. Because that's important. And plus, if you vote the right way, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. You can vote for whoever you want to. I'm a big fan of democracy.
And I actually, I knew how we were gonna. I'm sorry, me. I knew how I was gonna get all sidetracked on this, and in the description, I said reading negative comments and some political talk.
Oh yeah,
Already covered.
well,
this.
because a lot. Well, and then just another. I had a point and then I lost it. Oh, I remember it. You know,
He found his pencil.
we love the democratic process so much that it's almost like occasionally when we talk about politics, we actually highlight third parties and talking points that people who don't necessarily agree with us might be interested in, i.e., telling more liberal-minded and environmentally-minded people about the Green Party if they don't know about them already, or the Free Marijuana Now Party for all you staunch legalizers out there. It's almost like we just talk about things like facts,
Weird.
not feelings.
Weird. Well, when I get into the abortion subject, feelings are in there. That's when I run in. Well, I don't know. I don't think I really talk about anything that's like not true. It's just your take on it.
So this one is the Myra Flores video, and this is more clarifying because I think,
That one did fairly well, didn't it?
yeah, not a ton of comments, but there was Christo Botha asked, why they making it about race and not policy? And you had responded to policy would make too much sense. I've always stated policy over party. And then they responded, then this video does not make sense. The statement about her race should have an influence over voting power of the liberal something something rather than her policy being authoritarian confused me. Self-reflection is required as to why would some think race would have anything to do with competence. I will admit to we probably could have made that point a little bit better. It was mostly, it wasn't a joke, but it was mostly kind of like a haha, and she's a woman sort of thing.
Yeah.
The point was I was highlighting that even though those were, or I was trying to highlight, I'm not going to say I did highlight it because I think I failed. The point I was trying to make in the short 1 minute video is that the liberal voters cared more about the policy and voted against her, even though she had some more liberal-leaning highlights. That's what I was trying to say, but I don't think I effectively communicated that. So thank you for your comment, and I was glad I was able to clarify. So essentially, you're 100% right. Policy was more important. What I was trying to get at is that even though she was a minority through and through, which traditionally liberals are into, is that the policy was so bad that they still essentially kicked her out of office after she was more pro-Trump and pro-Roe v. Wade being overturned.
That's the thing. And you know, actually, when we were actually talking about this and how we said that Trump's picks mostly failed.
Yeah.
You know that was untrue.
No,
Quite a few of his picks were successful.
The ones that did well were already in areas where Republicans just do well.
Right, but it was like an 80%. You know.
Well, I know, but a lot of them.
Passing.
That's passing. No,
I used to love saying that.
Well, and actually, I highlighted one in the very beginning where one of his picks did win, but by a significantly smaller margin than the previous Republican candidate had.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. If Trump is the running candidate, well, I'm sorry, the what is it? The nominee. If he's the nominee, you think he's going to win?
Honestly,
who's going to run against him as a Democrat or?
Well, Joe Biden, but I don't think so.
A lot of Democrats are saying they don't want Joe Biden.
Well, I know, but unless...
I mean, why? The country's doing so well, right?
Well, let's give credit where credit's due. It could be worse. I don't know.
Don't you fucking dare say that. It couldn't. I don't want it to be worse.
You shut your whore mouth. No. That being said, I think a lot of things.
It really could be worse.
But a lot of bad things are happening because of the Biden administration's policies. Anyway, on to the DeSantis Red Wave video, which did extremely well. I see. There's a. Most of these were.
The voice listeners probably like, what the fuck are they doing?
Most of these were actually positive.
Yeah,
You are.
we had a lot of red support on that.
Rebel Bear says you are divide and conquer shills. Not
Ow.
really. I'm not saying they should be against each other. I'm just saying they are. I think if they did cooperate, oh God, if it was a Trump DeSantis ticket, I think they
Oh gosh.
yeah.
But the thing is, though, in my opinion, they are both main leaders. They need people under them. They will not clash well together. So that's why I don't think DeSantis, like he can ask DeSantis to be his vice president, but I don't think DeSantis is going to take it. Oh, you think he would?
Take what?
You think if Trump ends up the nominee, and DeSantis, and he asked him to be his vice president, you think DeSantis would be vice president?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, come to think of it, that would be a smart decision for him if Trump is a nominee, because then he would be guaranteed 2028.
Pretty well.
Because the thing is, everything's. I don't care what anyone says. You can argue to the death in the comments. I'm sorry, but if either Trump or DeSantis is president for the next term, the country's gonna get a little better. Like
it's gonna get more than a little better. It's
gonna
get a lot better.
The stock market's gonna come back, and then they need to figure out a way to get this extra money that they printed out of the circulation. I don't know how they do that.
Well, part of that is raising interest rates.
Can they do that? Get that money out?
Yeah, but it takes a while, and that's why. Because I mean, the simple.
I don't agree with you on interest rates. I don't see how that helps. Like you've explained it, and the thing is, and I understand your position. It's still
well. It's not a position. It's historically one of the things. Other than creating a new currency.
But how much they're raising it by? That's just. And they're talking about raising it more.
Well, they have to. That's the thing. They
shouldn't have printed the fucking money.
Well,
in the first
yeah,
place.
but you can't go back and.
I know, but hell, like. I remember Trump saying after we got the first stimulus, he said he didn't want to do any more, and I agreed with him.
But he did another one.
Yeah, because he was going by with what everybody else was saying.
I think the second one.
That was the dumb thing. He should have just been like, nah.
Well, but I think the second one was purely to try to get more votes.
Oh yeah,
I think the second one
easily
was purely political. In the realm of positive comments, when we were defending Dragon Ball Super, Fun Time Fred Boy. These guys are right. If you think you have watched fighting animes, and you haven't watched Dragon Ball, you know nothing.
Buddy, you are absolutely right, but watch Baki.
Well, I know, but I guess I make this point a lot with people who think they know.
The Grappler, Baki the Grappler, if you haven't heard of it.
I actually had this conversation with my nephews not that long ago. They were like, I can't remember the exact question, but essentially they were asking, like, what do you think is the most important anime ever? And I said, honestly, it's probably a tie between Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. In terms of bringing it to the U.S.
See, I never watched Pokemon. I couldn't get into it.
Pokemon was the big wave.
I want to be the very best. I know the song.
Yeah.
I've watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it because, I have ADHD and I can't sit still.
But I don't think you would have had as much anime come over without both of them because Pokemon got the younger kids, but Dragon Ball got the older kids. The Toonami block specifically, but a lot of kids tuned into the Toonami block to watch Dragon Ball Z.
We weren't that old when we first started watching.
Not on its first run. We got hooked in the '96 run with the Ocean dub and all that, but then it came back in
like '98 or '99.
I think it was '99 when it came back onto Toonami
with Funimation.
Yeah,
and Vegeta had grown up.
My balls.
I'm going to get you. And then it's just like, I'm going to get you, Frieza.
I'll get you for this.
Oh, dude.
And oh my God, dude.
That line.
The line.
Woo, my balls tingled.
But even DBZ Abridged does it.
Dragon Balls.
But even DBZ Abridged does it better. They just have him scream. It's hilarious and good.
Great.
I was kind of surprised we didn't get more comments on the Arizona voting machines. Didn't get too much on the Star Wars poll either. Okay, here's the best hustle of 2022 and the I love this because honestly, at the end of the day,
that was fake.
Like, he did it to be funny, but it's actually the best financial advice. Because unless you've got the capital, and this is something that's become painfully clear to me as we've tried to quote unquote get rich.
We've tried.
If you don't have the capital to buy into something like he did, the best way to make money is to get a job. Specifically, if you have skills that are desired and marketable, that's the secret. And it's not a secret, it's hard.
But the thing is, when the economy takes a shit and you have to take a step back and accept a position, that's just the way it is. Things happen. Fuck you, Biden.
Oh, here we go. Jackson Schenk.
Schwartz? Just kidding.
Wow, such sage advice from a man who's clearly not living in his mother's garage.
It's my garage,
His
but
correction. I live in my garage. My mother's house has nothing to do with it. Man.
I pride myself on my responses.
Meme God Lord. I mean, he not wrong. Oh, you actually owe them a part 2.
Uh-oh. What?
And you said part 2 when? You said, oh.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, never mind. No, you don't owe them a part 2. Oh, wait. Hang on. I'm looking at the wrong one. You said 1,000 views or 1,000 likes?
1,000 subscribers.
There you go.
I don't know what I said. Seriously though, like I was going straight for views for that.
1,000 likes.
Oh yeah, okay. I was going for straight
straight views for that video, and it didn't get as many as I thought it would. I figured more people would have a sense of humor, but apparently the internet is all Canadian.
Oh, and then we got one for Tate for Years, which I'll be honest, I didn't think was going to get anything, but I had already made the show.
Oh, that one blew up.
Like, legitimately, YouTube, you're confusing the hell out of me, because we had posted some things where we talked about Andrew Tate, and they got nothing. I had already made this one, so I was like, screw it, we'll throw it up there. And a lot of times, if you follow us on all our platforms, you'll see this, and it's so funny how this happens. Like, we'll put a short on YouTube, and it won't get anything, but then you'll put it on TikTok, or you'll put it on Instagram. But the only one that's gotten a lot of views across all platforms, well, there's two, is the Dragon Ball one, although it really flew on YouTube.
Yeah, it did.
And then of all the things is how to kill Deadpool, because people are arguing about this.
Oh, I know.
But on every platform, it's.
Did you see the guy's comment on TikTok though? When
I've seen so many.
That's how they actually in the movie, not the comic books, but that's how they actually because you were saying they could suffocate him, and that's how they actually made his powers come to light in the movie.
The only problem is they didn't suffocate him to the point of death. They'd always pump the oxygen in when he was about to pass out.
That's true.
So they could have killed him before his power.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. But still, I digress.
And actually,
as soon as he gets oxygen anywhere. So now he could technically be dead floating in space for millennia, but as soon as he hits a planet with oxygen, back to life.
Once his powers manifested, theoretically, yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But
I think that's what I said, bitch.
I do want to give a shout out to the people in the comments on all those videos. Is for the most part, you guys have been debating, but in a very a non-shitty way. So that makes me happy.
And honestly, that's all we really want is just a discussion.
You smart ass. So anyway, in the tape video, we got Gabe Morehouse. He's a sex trafficker, and all you put was and his brother. Oh wait, that wasn't you.
Yeah, I didn't say nothing.
Oh, that was Gabe. Sorry. He commented his own comment. I'm not even going to go into that. We've addressed that. There were no charges filed. Just research it. And to be fair, I'm not defending anybody. It's just that based on the evidence that came out.
Yes.
And if they had been found out, why are they not in jail?
It was not a mistrial. It was a dismissal.
There were never charges filed.
Right.
They weren't even dismissed. There were never charges filed.
Oh. So you know more about that.
Well, I thought it sounded very weird to me.
Who was just recently? Not Danny McBride. Danny, that 70s show, Hyde. Danny something, I can't remember.
Danny Masterson's.
He was. Did you see? He's been in the old courtroom for. No. This is. It's been off and on. Supposedly he raped 2 women, and the thing is, he got fired from the ranch. Have you ever seen that show?
Yeah,
it's
I
actually
liked
it was really
Really
good with
good.
him in it. You know, and I'm not gonna say it's bad without him in it because Ashton Kutcher's he's just Ashton
Well,
Kutcher.
but it's
He's
kind
good.
of like Roseanne without Roseanne.
Well, Roseanne did something immediately and was taken off. I understand that, you know, but Danny, it was alleged and they fired him anyway, and then now he's got a mistrial. They dropped the case, but the thing is, a mistrial meaning it's not. If they try him again, it's not double jeopardy. They
Right.
can try him again if they have proper evidence.
Because double jeopardy only applies to a convicted
Yes. So
conviction.
or a conviction or
adjudication.
adjudication. Yeah. So therefore, Danny is not technically innocent nor guilty. I mean, he's innocent until proven guilty. But yeah, I know, not in this country anymore. You're guilty until proven innocent. But regardless, like if he did what he did, he needs to go to prison. But if he didn't, I mean, he didn't. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just.
If he did do what he was alleged to
He needs
have
to go to
done,
prison for it.
He needs to go to prison.
But regardless, I thought that was relevant.
We got Jordan Sipple with Andrew Taint.
I know, I saw that. That was funny.
I like that. That was good.
I laughed at it. I think
It was funny, yeah. And actually,
Andrew
I want to. I meant to.
so funny.
I meant to bring this up on the abortion short. If I've learned anything from YouTube since we started doing the shorts, it's that, oh my God, you cannot trust comments or the media for this reason and this reason alone. On all the videos that we get the most hate, it's got, I'd say on average, 75% or higher like to dislike ratio.
And that's how it is.
It's
It's
most
because
of the time
the
it's
most
about
hateful
80%.
the most hateful people just have to comment something.
But most people like the videos.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me because
What do you call those people? The silent majority.
the silent majority. But that's made me so conscious of any time like Disney's new movie. What's it called? Strange World or something?
Yeah, you posted something about it.
I commented on it.
Oh, you commented
When
on
they
it.
were like, yeah,
Spider-Man.
now,
That's
yeah,
all.
now they're saying it's like, oh, you know, the reason it didn't gross so much. First of all, Disney is about to lose. It's projected they're going to lose about $100 million on this movie.
And on top of that, Disney, the CEO, recently came out and said that they're sorry about something. I can't remember what it is, but they're going to be changing how they're going to be making movies and whatnot. Like, because apparently the woke and get broke bullshit, you know, they're over it because they're losing money.
Well, and I'm going to bring this up simply because I saw the trailer for Strange World. It didn't mention any of that. I still thought, wow, that looks like a really shitty movie.
I thought it looked okay. I mean, I haven't watched it yet. Have you watched it?
No, I want to because
I mean, I want to watch it just for, you know, to see. Because the thing is, I have a hard time trusting critics.
Oh, big time. And especially since we've gone over I wouldn't call it hatred, but I can't put my finger on a dislike for Matt Walsh.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I
I
think-
don't hate the guy, but I don't like him.
I just get the sense that if
He
and I
seems
were-
like a pretentious douchebag.
Yeah. And he
I
does,
love Ben. I love Ben Shapiro.
Well, but Matt Walsh does this thing that Ben Shapiro does not do. Well, Ben does it sometimes, but at least when he does it, he makes it funny.
Matt plays the gotcha game.
No, I don't really even have a problem with the gotcha game. What Matt Walsh does that I really can't stand
I don't like gotcha games. Like,
is
I'm good at
he
it.
will phrase something as though it were as though it's supposed to be funny, but he'll phrase it in a very deadpan way.
Because he hasn't done media training like Ben Shapiro.
Well, but apparently he has. Apparently he was on radio for a very, very, very long time.
Oh, that's probably what it is you're seeing his face.
He's got a face for radio.
Video killed the radio star.
But yeah, so and newsflash, people, if you think I'm a conservative, Matt Walsh, I think, is a massive douchebag. That being said, I don't disagree with everything he says, but sometimes I think he gets a little alarmist with this kind of stuff, and I think with this movie, he did it, because I watched a video clip today of him talking about it, and I'm kind of like, first of all, I don't think you can really critique a movie properly until you've seen it, and I guarantee you he hasn't seen it. I'm going based upon what I heard, but I did see the trailer where it didn't mention any of the woke stuff, and I still thought it looked like a shitty movie. And then I found out it had all this stuff in it, and I was just like, oh. But for the same reason, I didn't see Lightyear either, because it just didn't look like a good movie. And then I heard about all the stuff that, you know, the uber conservatives were complaining about, and I'm just kind of like, I don't think that's why people didn't see Lightyear.
It didn't bother me that Tim Allen wasn't Lightyear because
It did me.
it didn't really, because the only reason I didn't care so much was because it's the toy is based on a person.
I didn't love it.
So
but
I didn't mind the idea
Yeah.
of getting someone else in there. You know,
I'll put it
was
to you this
okay
way:
with
I
me.
didn't love it. I would have loved to have Tim Allen, but it wasn't a hill I would die on.
Yeah.
'Cause I get it, because you're right. Like this.
I mean,
movie's-
if he would have toned it down and not been as Buzz Lightyear, you know, on the voice, yeah, it could have worked. And Tim Allen doesn't sound like that constantly. That's he's playing a character.
Yeah.
You know, Buzz Lightyear. If he would have played, you know, Lightyear, hopefully people can differ between the two. I think he'd been all right with it. But honestly, like I said, you know, the guy they had voice him, it sounded like he matched that character.
yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't just go around watching
Okay.
Pixar movies. Or is it Pixar, or is it just...
well, Disney owns Pixar now,
Oh.
so there's no such thing as a Pixar movie anymore. It's a Disney Pixar.
Bullshit. Toy Story 1 through 3.
Well, that was before
motherfucker.
Disney bought them,
I know.
and actually they bought them for 3. But Toy Story 3 is an almost flawless movie. In fact, I'd go so far as to say it is a flawless movie.
Are you talking about like when they're all getting ready to die?
No, just the whole movie. Whole movie's fantastic.
But that's the one where they're getting ready to die on
Oh,
the
man, yeah,
bell, right?
yeah.
That movie was fucking deep.
Oh man, I cried like a bitch twice.
Oh shit.
Oh dude, I lost it when they were all getting ready to die. And then like I thought it was okay, and then they hit me with the end. I'm like, you sons of bitches.
Bonnie!
I'm a man.
Peter!
Peter.
Peter! Peter!
Although you know what, Spider-Man No Way Home got me in the feels too. Didn't cry during that one, but got me right in the feels.
I can't remember the last movie that made me fucking tear up and cry like a baby.
Oh man, I remember the last one I watched that did that, but I won't go. I think I brought it up on the podcast before. Don't want to be a broken record, and I don't. Yeah, it's not a pleasant experience. But
Peter! 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 Peter!
why is that so funny?
Just to us, everyone watching this shit, they click on, they hear Peter, and then they click off. Fuck those guys.
That and even though he doesn't say Fruiter.
You weren't even in the
I
theater
know.
with us. And I swear to gosh, that was the funniest thing ever. Like I'm sitting there with my other friends watching this movie, and I'm talking the entire movie. I'm surprised I didn't get kicked out. I wasn't talking. I was just making fun of parts of the movie, which I love. Lord of the Rings. I absolutely love it.
Oh god, but
I've got VHS tapes of the cartoon. But anyway, like, dude, when Gimli, he's like, Frodo! But he never said that. It was just, I don't know.
But I mean, it's got a point because, like, don't get me wrong, I love Lord of the Rings, but I'm watching Clerks 2, and Randall's making a lot of really good points about.
No, he's
things
not.
And then he walks in and looks at Frodo with that very gay look, and I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of like, eh. And I do love his like, ready for the second movie? He walks, then he trips on something.
Then the third movie he walks. I'll be honest though,
Even the fucking trees walk in that movie.
when it comes to the original trilogy of Star Wars versus the trilogy of Lord of the Rings, sorry, Lord of the Rings. is
Oh,
better.
way better. Star Wars is not as good. as
No.
Oh, for a second I thought you were gonna go with Guru from DBZ Abridged. No, no. I saw a bird. It was pretty. Every party has a pooper. That's why we invited you. Oh God, have you watched DBZ Abridged yet?
No.
Get on that shit,
I
man.
don't know.
It's so good.
I keep getting fucking dude.
Dude,
Imagine
it's
having
per-
ADHD.
it's
It's hard to
perfect for your-
fucking think.
It's perfect for your ADHD.
It only
episode.
says 8 minutes. Like they're only like 8-9 minutes long, but like
Some of them are longer, but
I'll literally be sitting there and I'm just like, what's that? And I'm like, why can I not pay attention to these? I know they're funny.
oh, they're so funny.
Like it's hard for me to sit still. Like everybody's like, well, this dude's on crack. I'm like, no, I just have a fucked up neck. I have ADHD. I can't sit still. I'm hungry. No, just kidding.
I'm hungry.
I'm not hungry.
Is that shiny?
Shiny.
Yeah, and the last few videos didn't really get too many comments, even though they got a lot of views. That's going back a ways. So I'm gonna try to find the live to address these, and then I guess we can talk about whatever we want. Let's see. I believe it was this one. Yes, twas. Twas. Oh, okay. Never mind. This isn't the right one, but I will address this. On the episode we did where we were talking about the aftermath of the 2022 election, B. Roca Holder, anyone who believes this is an idiot. To which I responded, well, then what happened?
They ain't got no.
Nobody can tell me what happened if I'm so wrong and stupid. Let's see, where are the comments? Oh, don't tell me it left.
It left.
No, the comment.
No.
Oh, no, there it is. It's the one where, are they actively trying to sink America? Okay, there we are. Sosa, yes, they are.
Sosa's words of wisdom.
Okay, so Snipes01. You idiots don't research anything you talk about. Fuck. Classically trained flute player plays a flute, and two fat, beady-eyed white guys complain. What a surprise. The Library of Congress was there when she played the flute both times. You idiots! Exclamation point. At least read what the hell is going on before making up you empty minds. Okay, so first of all, on that podcast, I did point out that Lizzo played the flute twice. The flute being James Madison's glass flute. And I even said, had zero issue with her playing it in the Library of Congress. So, clean out your ears. Or maybe listen to more than a couple minutes. Because I didn't have a problem. I didn't even have a problem with Lizzo playing it. My issue was them letting her take it to the concert venue. Because I just believe that the artifact should have a little bit more protection.
Your mom goes to college. Love it.
So anyway, a podcast of whiny, fat idiots saying everyone else is complaining. Well, I was pointing out people that actually were complaining. And I did, if you recall, I did kind of mention that some people were getting a little bit too up in arms about this. And fuck you, I know I'm fat, damn it.
Fat boys represent.
Fuck off. Not sensitive about it or nothing. Everybody gains weight. Fuck you for body shaming me.
Hey, listen, I did not eat that much on Thanksgiving. I had
you know what? You know what, though, Mr. Oh, so enlightened. You just body shamed me, you prick.
And you call yourself a freaking dim.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know.
I don't give a shit about your opinion of me because you don't even have the balls to put your picture on your profile page.
Oh, dude, I fought hardcore with this guy on Facebook, and because he was an idiot, and I was an idiot for still fighting with him when I should have just done my own thing. But I literally was like, hey, come on the podcast. I was like, dude, you obviously have a different opinion than me. He said he was a MAGA Trump supporter and this and that. And I was like, well, I said, you obviously have an opinion. And I said, come on and let's talk. And he I ain't got time for this. I said, but you got time to hold your phone and sit there and go back and forth with me on a post. So I was like, you're a pussy. That's what, and I called him that, and then he just got all mad about it. I was like, I mean, you're being a pussy. I asked you to come on for an hour-long conversation, and your ass is like scared. Stoned.
So, he continues. Oh, it's a podcast of whiny fat idiots saying everyone else is complaining, but not us. We are different. I don't really know what you're getting at, but whatever.
And honestly, you're a faceless profile unless you have a video or anything like that. So you might be fat too.
Yeah. You just talked about crony capitalism, then saying, "Oh, that sucks," but it's fine to have in our system. I did not. I said we had it in our system, but that's not the capitalism that I support. I support true capitalism. And I think crony capitalism is bad. You're right. It is. It's rampant in our system, and I don't like it. But because I say I like capitalism doesn't mean I like crony capitalism. I love capitalism.
I was actually talking to somebody about what we were talking about, getting rid of having term limits, and I explained to them, I was like, it won't make a difference because businesses and lobbyists will still get a hold of new people to get elected.
And it's almost more dangerous, but we can get into that. So morality is governed by law, antitrust, labor laws, child labor laws, etc. Okay, but I don't remember the exact point I made, which, like I said, I want to do a blog post where I go through this and like do a proper response. I think what you're talking about is how I was saying you can't legislate morality, and you can't, because if you think about that, everything you listed, antitrust, labor laws, child labor, that didn't start with the law. That started with someone taking a moral stance against them and fighting for those laws to be passed. Capitalism on its own will run rampant, and Congress rarely wants to reel it in. Okay, what's your point? Like, yeah. And
Is that your belly?
no, I don't even know what you're talking about. What did you hear?
Is your video playing?
Mm-mm. Oh, no, it's not playing. But anyway,
That was weird. I heard like a.
it might have been. I didn't hear it. It might have been, though.
His belly was speaking tongues.
So I do want to touch on this a little bit here. You're not wrong, because I forget who said it, but somebody did say that capitalism does require someone to be moral. But I think for capitalism, you don't have to be moral, but I think the system kind of it incentivizes being moral and fair.
You're doing it all wrong. You have to follow the rules of the road.
And I also forget who said this, but it's I love this quote. It's like, yes, capitalism is the worst economic system out there, except for all the other ones. Capitalism's not perfect, but it's the best we got. And if you think that communism or socialism is better, I suggest you go live in one of those countries.
Have you heard George Carlin speak on the elites?
Probably.
If nothing sticks out to you, I'm not going to say anything, but you should watch those and then listen. Have you heard Dave Chappelle's recent talks on? I'm not going to say which community, but you know
The T's.
No, the J's.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then Kanye. Have you heard? Oh my dude, he is nuts.
Yeah.
Sosa posted something today or yesterday about Kanye, and I was watching a video with him and Alex Jones, and even Alex Jones is literally like, "The fuck is this motherfucker?"
I would like to point out, I've never liked Kanye West. I always thought he was crazy, but
I don't hate him, but he's fucking weird.
But a couple years ago, we would have been tarred and feathered if we had talked the exact same sentiment about him. But now that the liberals don't like him,
did people not get the hint when he freaking interrupted? Hold on, Taylor. I'm going to let you finish. Did they not get the hint that he was fucking insane?
That's when I stopped liking him. I was like, well, that was rude.
Oh, I thought that was hilarious.
Like, don't get me wrong, it was funny. But
No, that was hilarious. But the thing is, it's like,
But
he should have interrupted her any time she had an award from that on.
That sense of entitlement, he's always had it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, what a dick.
He's a good musician. I'm not gonna say that. He's got a few good songs. I'm not gonna fight to the death over all his music, but he's got a couple good songs.
There is no true progressive, just neoliberals and neoconservatives is the same people. So there is literally no one with power pushing against capitalism. I think that the various communist countries would disagree with you. And you're saying that neoliberals and neoconservatives are the same thing. I can assure you they're not. Now on to the COVID numbers. COVID vaccines stop hospitalizations, and that's a fact. Then why are so many people still getting hospitalized the world over? Like, I understand what you're saying. I think you may have missed the point that we were making. I'm not saying that the vaccines are completely useless. I'm just... their success has been largely overinflated.
And on top of that, just natural viral efficacy. It goes down naturally.
And this is where I'm truly...
not efficacy, that's the wrong fucking... I'm retarded.
No, efficacy. Yeah.
Is that... No, I'm not talking about the vaccine. I'm talking about the virus itself. It's shelf life, if you will. Like they get... The more they spread and mutate, the weaker they naturally get. Like viruses in nature don't get stronger the more they mutate. They get weaker.
Yeah. So...
Or at least from what I read. I'm no virologist.
Typically, sometimes you will get a stronger.
I just
like the
play
Delta,
one on TV.
Like I understand the Delta variant was apparently like a really...
It was bad.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. What was the first variant?
I think that would have been Alpha.
No, I don't mean that. I'm sorry. The not the original, but the first variant. Was it Delta?
No, I think Delta was like the third or fourth one. Alpha,
Omicron was like fucking.
That was way after.
Yeah.
I think that was like 2 variants after Delta. But
Whatever I got, it sucked.
I think you got Delta.
Whatever that one was fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was sick for like a month.
But and this is the part where I'm kind of at a crossroads because on the one hand I don't want to be a dick, but at the same time I want. No, I'm not. I'm not doing this to be a dick because I truly do feel for you because there's part of the comment here that I do want to address. But at the same time, I'm not gonna not stick to my guns just because, you know, we have a differing opinion. You'll see why.
Yeah, he puts them in his holster. He don't glue them to himself.
Our death numbers in the U.S. at 1,065,152. Yes, but and I don't know this. I'd have to look at. You'd have to look at each individual case, but I guarantee you that most of those are comorbidities.
I'm pretty sure it was like 90% of all COVID deaths had a comorbidity.
And there's no way I can know because I'd have to look at every single case. And
yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
I got shit to do. But like, and I've lost family to COVID, and for that I am truly sorry.
Me too.
Because that sucks.
I'm not sorry. I lost family to COVID too. But the thing is, they were very unhealthy, drank every day, smoked every day, cigarettes. You know, like, I'm sorry, but if there's something like COVID, which actually, you know, fucks up your respiratory lungs, I'm still, it's been over a year, and I'm still not normal. Like, I cannot, like, catch my breath sometimes. That's also because I'm lazy and fat.
Like I said, he lost family to COVID, but I guess I guess that does matter, but he meant to write it doesn't matter. It does matter. I'm not saying that COVID was fake. I'm just saying it was largely overblown and the response was inappropriate.
What video is this?
This is the Are They Actively Trying to Sink America episode.
Yeah, and that when we're talking about something, we're never talking about, like, anything that's, like, I mean, unless you're a liberal and we're talking about something like that. And I'm sorry, not a liberal, leftist. I don't like using the word liberal anymore because Joe Rogan, he set me straight. But, I mean, we're not really trying to talk shit. Just trying to understand.
Look at the Spanish flu. You'd be the idiots without the masks. Well, funny you mentioned that because a lot of people didn't even know they had masks during the Spanish flu until COVID came around, and they were like, and they did. But I mean, what's your point?
Did they have those masks on, like, cheap, like, no, I'm not gonna say plantations. Would it be a plantation? You know, just a
farm?
Yeah, just a farm. I'm sorry.
Sure
like a farm with a bunch of people who, you know, work on it, and then they go to town, you know, to a small little, you know, town, and they sell their goods and whatnot.
Well, but I would make the argument that the mask probably didn't do all that much during the Spanish flu because for the most part, I mean, quarantining would do way more. And Spanish flu killed a lot of fucking people, but we also didn't have...
Spanish flu was different, and on top of that...
It was a coronavirus. It was actually eerily similar.
Yeah, but the death rate for... Well, the severity of it for younger ages was like way higher. Way higher. Like, didn't it kill like 5% of the population?
Oh, I think more than that.
Was it more?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
But granted, the population in 1912 of the world was not
1918.
anywhere. 1918, sorry. 1912.
Sorry, I just know somebody's going to...
I appreciate that. No, thanks.
Somebody's going to... It was 1918, you fucking idiots.
It was 1982.
Well, what's interesting, and what a lot of people don't bring up, is that Spanish flu is actually probably not the sole reason, but part of the big reason that ended the First World War.
And on top of that, that's not the only breakout of a virus in this country besides COVID either. There was one in the 50s. I can't remember what it was called, but I remember talking to somebody who I believe they or their younger brother had it as well, and the younger brother actually died. He was only like 4 or 5 years old. I can't remember what they called it.
Oh, and then finally he closes with, "You're stupid for sure. You got that right. Can't even get through the almost 2 hours of shit to debunk you. Well, go through the 2 hours of shit and debunk me then. And if you can't, shut the fuck up."
Please. That's a view.
No, like, seriously, I know I was a little crass there, but, I mean, you're saying we're so wrong, and that we're stupid, but you won't even take 2 hours to go through and debunk us.
I mean, it's whatever. You still suck.
Aww. Somebody left me a comment
What?
on the All Quiet on the Western Front review, which, oh my God,
Have you not read the comments on there?
I read some.
There was
but
a few. Dude,
there's a new one.
that podcast did really well.
I know, and oh my God, that floors me because you decided to do it like that night.
Well, it's because you enunciate.
Creeping Doubt, a very thoughtful, accurate, and informative review. You do a fine movie justice. I've subscribed. I look forward to the future reviews. Thank you, sir. Well,
Or
you
madam.
or ma'am, don't know. But aw, that made my night.
I think he does do very well reviews.
Holy shit! It got up to 3. Damn.
Yeah, that's.
I'll check that out in a minute.
I guess you don't.
I don't get the
YouTube
notifications.
Studio. I get on there all the time and look at analytics. Try to see what's doing well and what doesn't, which is 90% of these lives. But we get a lot of fun stuff for shorts from it.
Yeah, anymore the podcasts are essentially just fodder for shorts.
Yeah, but eventually, we'll get enough subscribers, and maybe 2 will watch the live.
Well, I mean, the live numbers have been steadily going up too. So.
They have. I'm just.
And we do appreciate everybody, even if you want to subscribe just to hate on us. We do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to watch our content. And we don't just do it for you, but we do enjoy doing it for you. We do it for us at the end of the day because it's fun.
Just like Tourette's guy said, I'm not wearing this clone for you people. I'm just doing it for that bitch at church. That's one of my favorite lines.
Oh my God.
Tourette's guy, amazing. That stuff's old.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. All right.
I think we've proven that we're not afraid of negative comments.
We're not afraid. Now these,
They'll make you afraid.
sort of. I mean, I was hearing some weird sounds, but these are edible gummies from our store. Well, not our store. It's my wife's store. OMG CBD, located in Columbus, Indiana. We also have a website that is live currently now. So
should definitely
the
put that in the
link
description.
in our description, I will update it with the website once I figure it out. But you can check out our Facebook page, just OMG CBD, and then the I believe the webpage link is on there too as well. But
We'll have to put that on the other podcast too.
shipping.
And if you are in the local Columbus area, you can get your OMG CBD products as well as your
Yes.
Stevie Wicks candles.
OMG CBD is partnered with Stevie Wicks, and they have several candles in their store.
The Christmas candles, the holiday candles, we don't want to alienate the Jews because we love you. They will be available there shortly, I'd say within a week or so. But you can always get them online at steviewicks.com. That's STEVIEWIX.com. Link is also in the description below. Support our sponsors because they support the podcast, and honestly, they make really good shit.
They do. And it's not just a high. You know, a lot of people are uneducated about CBD, and the thing is, now, if you just go to the website, you might not learn a lot. But, you know, I think I might have my wife on here
Actually,
one time,
that'd
and
be
we
phenomenal.
will go through and have a discussion on CBD, and we
That
can
would-
ask all kinds of tons of questions.
That would be a good one, and I can take a week off for that.
But yeah, if anyone, I doubt anyone
That's-
has watched this far, but if you have, we appreciate you.
That sounds like a good one for the next week or so.
Comments, tell me if that's a good idea or not.
Yeah, let us know. Do you want to get high?
She has trouble staying up late,
Well, that's the beautiful part is technically you can do it whenever you want because you live together.
sorta. She has a job.
I mean, sort
She has to run the store.
of. Yeah,
Anyway,
she's
so-
a pusher.
She's a pusher. Good stopping point.
I think so.
Yeah.
Keep those hateful comments.
Yes, please. We love hateful comments because I love to respond to them. Unless they're just downright too hateful, and then honestly, I believe the really hateful ones YouTube holds for review, and then I just never make it public.
There has only been one time that I have reported a comment, and that was when that prick son of a bitch was talking shit about Ben.
Oh yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck you.
You don't talk about dead
You can
friends.
say
man.
whatever the
It's
fuck you
fucked
want
up.
about me, but don't disrespect the dead, you worthless son of a bitch.
Unless it's Hitler.
Oh yeah, fuck Hitler. Oh, it was the guy in Saving Private Ryan. Fuck Hitler. Fuck Hitler.
That's funny.
Oh.
Okay, so lead us out, Maestro. Do you want to do it?
Thank you once again for enjoying this episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast. Hopefully you're a little bit less average and a little bit more intelligent. Be sure to check out our sponsors. Links are in the description below. We've already beaten that drum to death. And now for the horse. If you enjoyed this episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Send it to yourself, send it to your mother, send it to your girlfriend and or boyfriend. It's 2022. You never know. And if you would prefer to listen to the podcast as opposed to watching it, which why would you not want to watch it? We're fucking gorgeous. But if you prefer to listen to it, you can check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Audible, iHeartRadio, that's new, Radio Public, Pocket Casts. There's one more. Damn it, I can't remember it. Did I say Google? Yes, I said Google Podcasts. Anyway, there's another one.
Listen, there's a ton.
There's a ton. It's out there. And they're all listed below. Anchor.fm, that's the one.
Oh my gosh, that's like one of the first ones.
Yeah, that's actually the one. If you visit the Anchor.fm page, you can see where everywhere you can view the podcast. Or you have no excuse. We've made it so incredibly easy to listen to. And if you're finding us for the first time on one of the audio platforms, be sure to check us out on Instagram and TikTok as well for more shorts content. And I'm very proud of this. A lot of the content gets shared between the platforms, but each one will have exclusive content. So, for example, there will be Instagram exclusive content. There will be TikTok exclusive content. There's also YouTube exclusive content, being the full podcast. Alrighty then. Now go.
He's out of breath.
It's over.
Believe me. Alrighty. Have a good
Shoot.
night.